Philip Norton here with Norton Trading. Thank you for visiting my channel where we spend our time discussing technical analysis. Please subscribe so you get all my new videos as they're released. In this video, we will be taking a look at drawing and understanding trend lines. So let's go ahead and get started. A trend line is a straight line that starts at the beginning and stops at the end of a trend. The trend line provides you with several important pieces of information. The first thing to look at is how to draw a trend line. While drawing a trend line is actually very simple, you simply just draw a line between two significant support points in the direction you believe the trend is going. The issue is that until you've gotten a confirmation of the trend line, you're going to be wrong quite a bit. You're going to be drawing and redrawing the trend lines as you watch and you wait for that confirmation, really that third point of confirmation on the trend line. For today's example, let's take a look at Weibo Corporation, stock ticker WB. Seeing this uptrend here in hindsight is pretty easy. Note that the trend line is just a straight support line that rises and falls with the trend. But how would you have been able to utilize these trend lines to see this run and profit from it? As we were looking for an uptrend, you would be drawing your trend line starting from recent lows. So we look here at early 2016 and see several months of sideways movement after the IPO. The stock starts to move higher when we get a big pullback at the end of 2017. Now this gives us our 2 points of significant lows to start to draw our initial trend line. We have the start of the bounce and then the bottom of our first pullback. So simply we extend that trend line out into the future and see if we get confirmation. As noted, many of the trend lines won't play out and you may have further downside. This is why it is important to simply draw the predictive trend line and wait for the third touch and hold for confirmation. This confirmation comes around the end of March. This third touch of the line is our chart pattern that signals a potential buy. We then need to find out our entry and our exit points for taking our position. If you haven't watched my video on the 4 things you need to know in order to take a trade, please watch for the link at the end of this video as it'll give you a lot of great information about entering and exiting trades. We've now been able to draw the initial trend line. We got the third bounce for confirmation, which signaled our potential entry into the trade. Once we've taken our position, we then use the trend line to tell us when the trade may be over and when we should exit our position. Sometimes trends will be more of a grind and continue to stay near the trend line, bouncing off it several times. This grind is actually a show of strength, as stocks that grind tend to keep grinding. But we'll leave that conversation on grinding trades for another day. With WB, we actually see that after the third bounce of support, the stock really takes off. This is actually something pretty normal. In fact, the reason this happens is that other traders are drawing the same trend lines and buying at that same confirmation point. A lot of technical analysis with trend lines, pivots, support, resistance lines, they all tend to work pretty well. And the reason they do is because a lot of other traders are watching those for buying and selling opportunities. You see that WB is actually forming a new, more extended trend as we continue on forward. This concept goes back to the beginning of always redrawing trend lines. You had confirmation on your trend line, but the trade has gone in your favor, is extending from the trend line, and this gives you the opportunity to redraw a new trend line to follow that uptrend. This is an important step because you can provide a much better exit point once the trend has ended. We see this come into play as the new trend line is broken in late March of 2018 at around $118. But if you would have stayed with the original trend line, this isn't broken until June at around $88, a difference of $30. While many of you may not be traders and are not looking for buying opportunities, trend lines are still extremely valuable as you monitor your current position. Trend lines can help provide a signal that the trend of a stock may be reversing and it may be time to take some profits, sell off part of your position, or at least purchase some maybe defensive puts and protect yourself in case there is some pain to come in the future. Alright, thank you for joining me today and best of luck with your trading.